My final takeaway: the token economy rewards companies that make intelligence cheaper, more available, and more valuable. You got your AMD, your Nebius, and Zeta. The next winners may not sell the most expensive token. They may deliver the lowest cost reliable outcome at massive scale. So, hey, look, guys, like I said, these are my top 3 investments right now when it comes to the Agentic AI token era, inference era. They're my 3 biggest positions. I'm going to continue to bang the table on them. And, you know, if y'all want to follow this journey, stay tuned, subscribe, man. These will create the next millionaires. Will create the next 6 figures. It will create the next 5 figures for some people. You know, it's all on the scale, guys. It's on the scale. Just make sure y'all do y'all research. Trust y'all conviction. And, you know, don't go all in. It's not financial advice, but double down on y'all thesis. Share my thesis, share my thoughts. And we're going to see how this play out. What's up, fam? Welcome to JRUS TV. If you're new to my channel, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. We cover all things business, investing, and self-improvement content. If that's something you're interested in, leave a like. Appreciate this love and support. If you're returning to my channel, listen. I released a video about a year ago. I don't like to make these, you know, often because I don't want to like clickbait people a lot, but I'm getting that feeling again. All right, what video are you talking about, Jonathan? Buy this stock and retire early. AMD is the next $1 trillion giant. A year ago, I got 147 views on that. This is when AMD was like 80, 90, 100 bucks. I was buying in. I could tell. I saw where the puck was going. And the next one was this one, a little more recent. AI inference demand will create the next millionaires. Make sure y'all watch that if you haven't seen that one yet. But those two I'm really bullish on. Inference, AI agents, and tokens. Agentic tokens inference will create the next millionaire. So this is a follow-up video for all of this that I've been preaching on my channel. Make sure you look at those past videos. But the reason why I keep saying this is because there's going to be so much demand for artificial intelligence past chatbots. We've reached a point where we're past chatbots. You know, we're at a point where we've passed just chatbots. The inflection point of CPUs, agentic AI has hit these past couple months. I think like end of March, early May is when we hit that inflection point of agentic AI. And agentic AI is essentially online agents that can do your own task. If I have a video on my channel too as well, actually recently, let me show y'all if y'all can get a idea of this. I use ChatGPT and Codex to build a Robinhood AI trading agent. So this is essentially an example of what an agent is right there, if you're not too familiar with it. But it's going to be so many instances, you know. But let's go ahead and get into the video. I got a PowerPoint presentation for y'all. The agentic AI and the token economy. How AMD, Nebius, and Zeta Global could benefit as companies demand more intelligence at a lower cost per token. If you're not familiar with the channel, I do have a public portfolio that I share with you guys. Go through my past videos. You know, where I buy these companies with real money. You know, I just don't talk about it. I buy these companies, as I can see some of my returns, year over year, all the time. You know, I got Nebius, I got Zeta, and I have AMD shares. And the public portfolio and my private portfolio as well, just to show the receipts. But yeah, so essentially, this will create millionaires, generational wealth, 5 figures, 6 figures, you know, just depends how much money you put it in. But this is why Nebius, AMD, and Zeta are my top biggest 3 positions, and why I'm showing you all why they're my biggest positions, because of the agentic AI and token economy. So here's the core investment thesis. User goal is to grow revenue. So you have a lot of these companies where agentic AI converts a single request into many automated actions and many more tokens. So every time that agent goes to a browser, does research, process, thinks, that's inference, you know? That's inference. Every instance requires inference. Agents talk to other agents that talk to other agents, and all of those agents are going to be reasoning, doing inference, not learning because that's different, but reasoning and really digesting the information. So essentially, you can train yourself to ride a bike, but reasoning inference is how to turn, what speed should I go? Oh, I'm about to go over a hill. I need more strength to go up this hill, or I'm going to go down this hill. I need to brake. That's inference. Training is just teaching how to ride a bike. You can teach them how to ride a bike, but when you come into different obstacles and scenarios, that's when reasoning comes into play. So I hope that makes sense for y'all. As you can see, riding a bike, turns, bumps, that's a lot of inference, reasoning you have to do, thinking you have to do, which is from just riding a bike. So imagine you have thousands of agents doing that, writing your emails, checking your emails, creating content for you, all different type of stuff that little agents can do. Your own chief CEO, your own COO, your own partner, agentic. So user goal is to grow revenue. So that's companies. They want to grow their revenue. Now, the AI agent plans and reasons. The tool use searches, it can code, all those type of things. What does this mean? The token load is going to increase. Many model calls. Business value, faster decisions. Investment implications. More agents means more inference, which means more demand for efficient chips, cloud capacity, and AI applications that turn intelligence into measurable revenue. The winners do not only create better models, they reduce the cost of completing a useful task. So here I have one quote I seen on X. The next decade will be an inference decade. Open weight models are reaching frontier level performance at a fraction of the cost. The need for independent inference infrastructure will only grow. I said, yep, long AMD, long Nebius. Another thing I said here as well is that on June 11th, so like a week ago, we've entered the phase of unit economics at scale. And what I mean by that is essentially companies have been using AI for, year or two now. And they're starting to see the value of AI, the agent era, all this type of stuff. And they're coming to the conclusion that, okay, we know that AI is useful, but it's starting to get expensive. Really, really expensive, especially when you have agents and you're trying to scale a massive enterprise company, a large business. You're going to have a lot of inference, a lot of workloads. So now we're transitioning to economics at scale. Companies are starting to say, who can provide the cheapest tokens or the most effective ROI tokens? I won't say cheapest, but who can provide tokens at the best token per dollar, essentially, that can give a high ROI. This stuff can ramp up pretty quick. And now companies are looking for the best possible price for these tokens. Inference. Hope y'all are following me. So I'm going to play a quick clip for y'all.
We just have this increasingly massive pool of resources we can pull, or is there like deep technical changes that need to be made?
So we've actually been investing in AMD software in many ways for a long time, right? Because we build on top of Triton. That's something a project that we've sponsored and really helped develop, and that vast majority of our GPUs are running Triton kernels effectively. And I'd say the way I'd look at it is that there's inference and there's training. Mm-hmm. There's a massive fixed cost to getting inference working. There's an even more massive fixed cost to getting training working. And we're at a point where we actually have been able to use, with a very small amount of work, to be able to use AMD software this year and get good performance out of it. And so a lot of that is enabled through just like this partnership we've had for a very long time. We provide a lot of feedback, and we're at a point now where from an inference perspective, we feel quite good about scaling. And there's different niches for different pieces of hardware, and that we're excited about the MI 450 series.
This is someone at OpenAI, as you can see the label right here.
There's a lot of good innovation in there, and that we will also scale up a ton of NVIDIA for inference and training as well.
Do you ever consider some of the newer players like a Cerebras or a Grok, like the like wafer scale computing, and do you ever consider those?
Yeah, so in 2017, we got super excited when we saw Cerebras, because it was just this totally new paradigm. You looked at the numbers, you're like, wow, like if we could have like 1 million of those things, we could build HEI, right? Just like you just realize it's a very different sort of platform. And I think that it's turned out that building non-GPU architectures has been way harder than we expected.
But essentially what I get here, he mentioned inference at scale. Now, let's read this quick quote by Mike Longterm. He's a big AMD bull. Wall Street Journal yesterday came out with an article that OpenAI is considering drastically lowering the token prices to win more customers from Anthropic. The narrative, they are trying to exuberate the current AI sell-off won't last long. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what's going on, or already discussed for months and years, where token costs will become the central discussion among the enterprise, as there is no such thing as a limited budget or token maxing when they use NVIDIA chips. Back to the point I was saying, that they know AI works, now it's getting expensive. Who has the best tokens per dollar? Okay. We have to be honest. AMD is the only company that made a big bet on inference since the day ChatGPT became sensational, where NVIDIA and the others were betting big on training. At the end of the day, token bill from Anthropic has to obey economics, meaning the bills rise, companies have to get more out of it just to justify the cost. It cannot be unlimited inference budget, and it has to show up in efficiency, profitability, and leverageability. Actually, back to my point that more agents, more inference, more demand for efficient chips, cloud capacity, and AI applications. Companies want cheaper tokens. Next. Token economics, the new unit of AI consumption. So what are tokens? Tokens are the unit models process. Companies pay for input, outputs, and increasingly tool-driven workflows. Cost per useful task equals tokens times the price per token plus the compute plus the tools. So you might hear in the industry, a lot of people talk about TCO, which is total cost of ownership. So it's not even just the tokens. It's the token, the price per token, compute, and the tools that, it's a total cost to run these applications. So one, model efficiency. Smaller and specialized models can complete routine tasks for more cheaply. So, you got your models you use now, regular like ChatGPT, but there's a lot of different models you can use for healthcare, for coding, models for deep research. So they're becoming more centralized on what models people use or the companies use. Caching and reuse. Repeated context can be cached instead of processed at full price. 3 is routing. Use premium reasoning only when the task truly requires it. So it's different tokens for different tasks. Like I said, for different models. So not every token is created equally. You have tokens for higher complex tasks and tokens for less complex tasks, like creating a picture, or you asking ChatGPT, what's the weather today? Like, those are totally two different tokens, versus deep dive into artificial intelligence and do this, that, and the other. Look at, what I mean? I get what I'm saying? Two different tokens. And 4 is hardware efficiency, more performer per watt and per dollar lower inference costs. The goal is not to the cheapest token, it is the cheapest reliable outcome. Why cheaper tokens can expand the market. 1, lower cost per task. Lower AI costs can unlock more frequent use, which means more agents, which means more total compute consumption. 1, lower cost per task. 2, more workflows become economical. 3, agents run more often. 4, total token value rises. 5, more infrastructure plus software revenue. It's the AI flywheel that I hear me talking about with Zeta or Palantir. They have an AI flywheel, whereas their clients use the product more and generate more data, it becomes more useful. They get more insights, which they can give a better ROI to their clients. It's a flywheel. It's a big circle. So cheaper tokens mean more usage. More usage means more data. More data means better agents. So they all play in together. Key tension. Falling unit prices can pressure margins, but demand may grow faster than cost declines. So here are the 3 investment theses that I'm betting big on. As you all can see in my portfolio, my private portfolio right here. Y'all can follow me on Blossom if y'all want to follow my private portfolio and all my trades and things like that. I'm verified. Here's my portfolio. I have 25% in AMD. I have 19% in Nebius, and I have 16% in Zeta. Like you see right there, no cap, and even my private portfolio, my public portfolio. Those are my 3 big positions. So I have money in there. AMD investment angle. Agentic inference increases demand for high performance accelerators and CPUs. Why it could benefit. Inference and agentic AI require both accelerator and high performer server CPUs. That's why AMD stock prices have gone crazy this past couple of months, because they are the leaders, one of the leaders in CPUs, and everybody's been using GPUs for training, but inference and agentic AI require CPUs, and that's AMD's bread and butter. Boom, I saw that coming a year ago. Customers want alternative supply diversity and better performance per dollar. That's where AMD come in hands with the MI450 Helios rack and Epic expand AMD opportunity across chips, racks, and full systems. And lower compute costs can make more token-intensive workflow economical. Essentially, hyperscalers are not going to pay the NVIDIA tax for much longer. They need an alternative. It's getting too expensive at scale. That's when you come to the second best player, AMD, who doesn't have to price as much as NVIDIA to make their margins go crazy, because they've been counting out. You know what I mean? So AMD has a lot of upside out. I've been saying it's going to 1,000. Watch execution, software ecosystem, supply ramp, and sustained accelerated adoption. Data center revenues up 57% year over year. Next is Nebius, the AI factory and token infrastructure play. Investment angle here is basically rent the compute, inference, and orchestration that power agentic workloads, which is really going to be the big thing. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA said, agentic AI is driving incredible compute demand and accelerating infrastructure build out. So Nebius has 3 main points here. We have the AI cloud, so the GPU clusters, the stores, the networking, the managed infrastructure. They have their own software where companies can come develop their own AI solutions. They have the token factory, which is the managed inference aimed at turning models into reliable, scalable token output. This is what I'm really bullish on, because read my Substack link in the description if you want to go a little deeper into Nebius and my write-up on that. But they previously owned the Google of Russia. About 1,000 Russian engineers left a couple years ago as they started a new business. It was Yandex, but now it's Nebius. And their background is machine learning and data centers. So this is their bread and butter as well. And they've execute beautifully. I was in at $80, $90. Was big on the table a couple months ago. I told you when I started my position, I told you I was buying. It sits at like $250 a share right now. Highs was at $290. 3 is the capacity. Up to 1.2 gigawatts of power and land secured for a Pennsylvania AI factory. They continue to create more capacity. Execution is just the only thing for this company. Bull case fear, more agentic activity increases demand for available optimized compute. The risk here is capital intensity, financing, and price competition. But even SemiAnalysis, a well-known company, they put Nebius and CoreWeave in those tier 1, tier 2. We're not even going to call them neoclouds. We're going to say Nebius is the next hyperscaler for AI workloads. And next is the Zeta Global, the application and monetization play. Investment angle here is turn AI intelligence into the marketing decisions, customer actions, and measurable revenue. Marketing has a $1 trillion TAM. They're doing 50% year-over-year growth. In Q1 2026, they've beat and raised 19 consecutive quarters. If I've been here, I know I like Zeta. Theta brings conversational agentic decision making to enterprise marketing. First-party data and trillions of signals can improve targeting, personalization, and measurement. Zeta has all this data, which is basically a flywheel that I was talking to you about. If you want to dive a little deeper into Zeta, go into my Zeta X Palantir video I just uploaded not too long ago. I dive more into that partnership and why that's super bullish for Zeta. Cheaper tokens make always-on analysis and campaign optimization more affordable. Now, Zeta did mention they do their own inference, so they have that under control. And Zeta sits close to the outcome layer where AI must prove revenue impact. Watch customer adoption, margins, data privacy, and whether Athena drives incremental spend, which I think it will. And his partnership with Palantir just really solidified the whole thesis. And the business intelligence layer, like I said, this is one of my biggest investments yet, and I'm bullish. And Agentic AI, Athena is their agentic platform that does it, So they've been ahead since 2017 when it comes to AI. We're just early on this play, which is why it's been stagnant for the past year or so, but we're early. That's the price you pay. So 3 companies, 3 layers of the AI value chain. My focus portfolio can capture different ways the token economy is monetized. AMD, you got your chips in the systems, sell compute engines, benefits from inference growth, scale, and ecosystem execution. Nebius, you got your cloud and your tokens. Rent AI infrastructure, benefits from utilization, capital intensive expansion. Zeta, application layer, and plus the ROI from AI, a lot of companies will see. Monetizes customer outcomes, benefits from a cheaper AI, and it must prove their doable ROI, which 19 consecutive beat and raise quarters. You got your Snowflake partnership, but your Palantir partnership, your OpenAI partnership for GEO. All the data is stacking up for these investments, and that's why I continue to be bullish, because my thesis is being confirmed every month, the past year. So my portfolio logic is AMD supplies the engine, Nebius operates the factory, Zeta monetizes the business outcome. Now, what could break the thesis? Being early does not remove valuation, execution, or technology risk. So we could see price compression, tokens and compute prices fall faster. We could see CapEx risk. Infrastructure expansion requires large funding and flawless execution. Or the CapEx slows down or decreases majorly. Competition, custom silicones, open source models, your adoption gap. Enterprise experience with agents, but delay broad production deployment. So every company may delay it, but at the same time, that can be a L on their part. Valuation, strong narratives can be priced in before cash flow catches up. So a lot of these companies, not the companies I invested in, but there's companies out here that don't deserve a lot of these valuations, but the narrative and the story is there. AI is big right now. And lastly is reliability. Agentic AI is not perfect, but they will be perfect. I just went to an event not too long ago. I'll do a recap video on that. And the guy said, yeah, right now, if you're having trouble with AI, in a couple weeks, couple months, you probably won't. It's things that are changing really fast. And the governments. I just did a paper on AI governance too, so I may drop it on my Substack. So investor discipline. We want to track the revenue growth, which checks off. The margins or utilization, which checks off. Customer concentration, checks off. And the cost per useful AI outcome. My final takeaway, the token economy rewards companies that make intelligence cheaper, more available, and more valuable. You got your AMD, your Nebius, and Zeta. The next winners may not sell the most expensive token. They may deliver the lowest cost, reliable outcome at massive scale. So, hey, look, guys, like I said, these are my top 3 investments right now when it comes to the agentic AI, token era, inference era. They're my 3 biggest positions. I'm going to continue to bang the table on them. And, if y'all want to follow this journey, stay tuned, subscribe, man. These will create the next millionaires. Will create the next 6 figures. It will create the next 5 figures for some people. It's all on the scale, guys. It's on the scale. Just make sure y'all do y'all research. Trust y'all conviction. And, don't go all in. It's not financial advice, but double down on y'all thesis. Share my thesis, share my thoughts. And we're going to see how this play out. J Rush TV, we out. Let me know if